With more Oregonians getting vaccinated every day, the state is getting closer and closer to reaching herd immunity.
And tonight we're taking a closer look at exactly what that means. Fox 12's Simon Gutierrez joins us live with the answers to some of your questions. Simon?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of people asking when the state's going to return to some form of normalcy. That's a tricky question with a lot of variables. We reached out to one of the state's top health officers to take a deeper dive.
OHS, you published a study last week that suggested the existing vaccines were less effective against the variant that's now the dominant strain in Oregon. What does that mean in terms of the state reaching some kind of herd immunity?
I think it's important to start by remembering that the vaccines are highly effective. There is increasing data, studies coming out from around the world that these vaccines are not as good for some of the new variants, but they're still pretty good in most cases for most of the variants. Even if it's 50% effectiveness, that's a huge benefit to vaccination in terms of preventing infection, preventing transmission, also preventing severe illness and deaths.
OHA Director Allen mentioned, it was a couple months ago, but he seemed fairly confident that we would reach some level of community immunity where things could kind of go back to normal by the fall. Do you think we're still on that timeline?
That's a tough question to answer. I think we certainly could be. And remember, it's not just people who have been vaccinated. If somebody actually had COVID, they have antibodies and they have that some level of immunity. And we do have a significant percentage of Oregonians who are in that category as well. The big wild card is the variants, how fast some of those more resistant variants are spreading in Oregon, and what changes are going to happen over the next few months. We could see new variants too. I know that several of the vaccine manufacturers are doing research and looking at ways that they can adjust their vaccines, or in some cases, I know one of them was looking at just adding a third dose. So studying the benefit of just a third dose of the same vaccine, but they are also looking at ways to modify, especially with the mRNA vaccines. They can modify those pretty quickly to have them be a better match for some of the new variants.
All right, Simon, question for you. Do we know if there's any kind of timeline on the development of vaccines to better suit these variants?
Yeah, Dr. Gene, who we just heard from, is really optimistic about that. Actually, he says that we could likely see some kind of a modified vaccine developed in the coming months. Guys, back to you.